Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we're tackling the topic of skin purging. Honestly, purging is one of the most frustrating things that happens in our skincare journey. How many times do we reach for a hyped and talked about skincare product, expecting really great results, when in truth, the first immediate results we see are more breakouts, whiteheads, blackheads, pimples. It just leaves us feeling really cold towards the product and wonder whether we should continue to use it. I've experienced purging a lot in my skincare journey, and I'm here to tell you it's not something to be afraid of. Whilst it always has in the back of our mind purging might be preventing us trying some new amazing skincare, I want to share with you some of the things to be mindful of when it comes to skin purging and some of the things we can do to minimize it. So sit back, relax, and let's talk all things skin purging. Now, before we get into the topic of skin purging itself, there's a couple of things I want to cover. First and foremost, purging will impact different people differently. All our skin is unique, and that's part of what makes us fabulous as individuals. So you always need to be mindful that one person's experience won't carry across exactly to another person's. The things that I'm sharing in today's video is all based on my own thoughts, feelings, and opinions when it comes to purging, and I would love to know and hear your own experiences, so sound off in the comments section below. Just promise me that whilst you're down there, you'll also give this video a big thumbs up and a like, because it supports me and the channel so much, and I would love you forever. But in true Mad About Skin style, shall we just cut the waffle and delve straight on in? Now, first and foremost, let's talk what causes skin purging. Well, all of us, no matter what our skin type, have things called microcomedomes sitting in the deeper layers of the skin. This is skin oil, sebaceous filaments mixed with dead skin cells, a load of other stuff, which is just waiting to erupt as a zit at some point in our skincare journey. Now, depending on the rate of cellular turnover, will depend how quickly these come to the surface and erupt as a pimple. Products which increase the rate of cellular turnover bring these to the surface quicker. This can happen in quite an alarming rate and all at once, which is what we often term purging. This is why we can go from a period of having maybe just one zit at a time to all of a sudden we've got 10, 20 zits all happening at once. This is where this increase in cellular turnover is driving these microcomedomes to the surface and erupting as zits. Because this all happens at once, honestly, it can be quite alarming, which is why I think a lot of people are fearful of purging, and it prevents people wanting to reach for new skincare ingredients to add into their skincare routine. Because of this, you could be missing out on so many great products and benefits that you could be getting from them, because at the back of your mind, you have that purge, constantly reminded that you might have to go through this process in order to deliver the great results on the other side. In this video, I want to demystify purging, and honestly, I want to say why we should stop being afraid of it, something I'm going to come on to later in the video. Quickly before, I want to talk about the ingredients that are most likely to trigger this purge. It all comes down to the rate of increase in cellular turnover that ingredients will introduce to our skincare routine. The biggest culprits are vitamin C's, exfoliating acids, physical scrubs, retinoids, but even things such as niacinamide and antioxidants at the margins can increase the rate of cellular turnover. Whenever you've got that increase in turnover, you're going to see a higher risk of purging. However, now let's come on to why I think we shouldn't be scared of that. First and foremost, you always need to be mindful that this would have happened anyway. These microcomedomes already exist in the skin, and they were going to come to the surface as a zit at some point in our skincare life. All of them happening at once can be a little bit alarming, but I almost see this as like the skin degunking itself, because honestly, it gets it all out of the way in one go. Whilst it can be a little bit traumatic when it happens all at once, this just allows us to deal with it in one go, and then we can move on to the amazing skin that awaits us. I also think it's a relatively good sign that the product itself is working. These products have all these amazing impacts for anti-aging, reducing hyperpigmentation, discoloration in skin, minimizing fine lines and wrinkles, and in the long term treating acne, because they dial up the rate of cellular turnover. This is a good thing, and the fact that this purge has happened just shows that these products are working as they were intended to, increasing that rate of cellular turnover, and in the long run you'll get all those benefits that come with that. Finally, you always need to be mindful that purge will on average last about 2 weeks. Whilst it can be a little bit alarming and traumatic at the time it happens, actually that 2-week period is a tiny fraction of our total skincare journey, and honestly I think it's one that's worth going through to get the amazing results from these products. Once you've got over that purge, you won't see it again, because these products have then got rid of all those microcomedones and they'll continue that increased cellular turnover. So you're not likely to see a further purge down the line, which is why, again, I should actually applaud this as a way of degunking the skin, getting it all out of the way in one go, and then we can just go on to enjoy the rest of our skincare routine with some extra benefits. That 2-week period could extend into 3 weeks, but anything beyond that, you need to be mindful that it might be something else going on in the skin, and maybe that the product just isn't right for you. So obviously, having the mindset when that purge starts that it should last between 2 and 3 weeks, and keep a check of that, because anything longer than that, obviously you might want to consider whether you want to continue to use the product. But in that 2-week period, everything will dial back, go back to normal, and then you'll start seeing seeing the amazing results of whatever active you've introduced into your routine. Now, whilst I said we shouldn't all be fearful of the word purge, and I certainly have learned to embrace it over the period of, my skincare journey, there are a couple of things that we can do to minimize it. The rate of purging will differ person to person, as I said at the start of the video. You're probably going to see people like myself that have more oily, acne-prone skin anyway are probably going to be more prone to purging than people that have a drier skin type. However, if you have super dry skin and you still experience purging, don't be put off or worried by that. It's just part of our skin's natural cycle. Just be mindful that if you have oilier skin, you're probably going to be more prone to purging, so you can kind of brace yourself for that happening when you introduce a skincare product into your routine. And I think if we're braced for it, I think we're more prepared when it does occur. There are some things we can do though to minimize purging. First and foremost, make sure you introduce one skincare ingredient at a time. Sometimes we have this tendency to overload our skin, which can trigger redness, peeling and sensitivity on top of any purging you might be seeing. I would introduce one active at a time and leave like a month or 2 months between each one before we then incorporate another one. If you overload the skin, you're obviously going to exacerbate and increase the risk of purging. Go gentle. See your skincare as a marathon, not a sprint, and introduce one at a time, because this honestly will minimize the amount of purging that you'll see. Also, always make sure that you choose formulations which match your skin type. This is really, really important and can have a really significant impact on the amount of purging that you see. For someone like me that has super oily skin and I want to introduce a new active ingredient into my routine, I'll often go for something that's going to have a little mattifying quality to it. Certainly is oil free and won't exacerbate the oiliness that I already see. If I introduce something that has the wrong formulation for my skin type, it's going to exacerbate some of the oiliness in the skin, maybe increase the rate of breakouts and purge that I see. Always make sure that you match the formulation with the active that you want to incorporate to your skin type. Go for something creamier and richer if you have a drier skin type. Go for something oil free and much more mattifying if, like me, you have super oily skin. By matching this, you're definitely going to minimize the rate of purging that you see in the skin. Finally, make sure you have the skin prepped and prepared, that you're going for some ingredients in your skincare routine that are going to dial back the rate of sensitivity and irritation. Two of my favorite ingredients to do that are oat extract and azelaic acid. Both of these, in my own experience, have dialed back the redness, the sensitivity and the inflammation. So if you've already got these in your skincare routine, if you do happen to get a purge, it'll be much less noticeable on the skin. There won't be that redness associated with it. It'll look less inflamed. My favorite product at the moment for doing that is this. This is the Geek and Gorgeous Stress Less Serum. It's oat based. Fantastic way. Just dialing back the redness, the sensitivity and the irritation in the skin. You'll still have that purge in the same rate that you were always going to get it, but when it appears, be much less red, much less inflamed, much less noticeable to the outside viewer. And honestly, this has been a total godsend and will make it so much easier to incorporate new actives into your existing skincare routine. There you have it, guys, a rundown of purging. I wanted this to be a really short, sharp and to the point video because I want to get across the message that purging isn't something to be frightened of. It's something that we'll all experience at some point in our skincare journey, and whilst it'll impact some people more than others, it's actually something I think we should embrace. It's part of demonstrating that a product, an ingredient that we're incorporating is working for us, and something that we just have to get through in order to the gorgeous glowing skin the other side. Hopefully some of these hints, tips and hacks will help you get in control of your own purge journey. You can't really prevent it from happening, but you can certainly lessen the impacts of it when it arrives, and this is kind of the message I wanted to convey in today's video. I would love to know your own experiences with purging, so make sure you sound off in the comment section below. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well and love your skin. Take care. Bye.